like knowing, in that game against Gonzaga, Zach kind of started off a little slow, but the shooting was hot, and just knowing that from your perspective, you, Fletcher, Lance, Braden, like knowing that you're taking a lot of the pressure off, where even if Zach does have a slow start to a game, and he always finishes strong, but even if he does have a slow start, you guys can certainly pick up to the level of like a Gonzaga or a Tennessee and help you there.
Absolutely. We always talk about it as the next man up. And with everybody understanding that mentality, it just kind of keeps everybody on their toes. You have to be ready because I can get hurt, Zach can get hurt, anybody can get hurt on any given day. And if you're not ready, then it's going to show. But if you are ready, you come out and perform, you look even better because you haven't played that much or you haven't done this, that, and the other. And then you kind of finally get your chance, you get your opportunity, and you got to take advantage of it. And that's what I did whenever I was a freshman. I took advantage of my opportunity. I worked at it, stayed with it, and things have paid off over time. And so that's what we preach to our young guys. Being able to, take pressure off of each other is just trusting each other. The work we do every day, that's what takes pressure off. Not necessarily how we perform in the game, but the trust in each other before we get to the game is what takes the pressure off, I think, more so.
Okay, we'll go back front.
So preparing for this matchup, what would you say, or I guess maybe your coach would say is the biggest thing y'all need to focus on or excel in to win this matchup?
It's ourselves. Honestly, we watch film, we look back and watch film so many times, and Coach Payne always talks about how that usually takes 3 people to mess something up. And those 3 people are typically on our side, on the Purdue basketball team. Whenever we're messing things up, the other team gets advantages. They get different aspects where either they're getting out in transition because we took a bad shot. They are getting layups and dunks because we're not communicating on a ball screen. And so it's just simple things like that. Like, we don't necessarily harp on if Zach gets 40 or if Zach gets 20 rebounds or if Braden shoots really well. We don't necessarily harp on things like that. We focus on taking good versus bad shots. We harp on communicating to each other. We harp on hustling and controlling the controllables. I think that's what has gotten us here, and that's what will help us win the national championship.
We can go to the back row.
You spoke about the opportunity your team had by staying together instead of bringing in a bunch of transfers. Was there anything like specific that went into the offseason that brought you guys closer to changing last year?
Definitely the loss. I would say that the FDU loss brought us together. Depending on the type of people you have, going through a traumatic experience, everybody handles it and responds differently. And I think that the best thing that we did was stick together. We were able to sit in one of our houses and watch some of the games. We didn't really want to, but just kind of sitting in it together, being able to me ask Zach questions or me ask Fletcher questions like, damn, how do you guys feel about this? Just simply is that instead of like separating and getting away from each other and never talking about it, we were able to sit together, and whether that's with our coaches or just a couple guys together, everybody one way or another had conversations about it. And I mean, just in general, that's how you heal from a traumatic moment. It wasn't life or death, but that type of loss to us in our minds is pretty close to life or death. And so before the season, we were able to have the open conversations. And then as we get into the season, we're on the court, still having those open conversations. When drills got tough, we reminded each other of the loss that we took. We reminded each other that Virginia took the loss and they won the national championship. And so it was just constant reminders of our goal and then constant reminders of our failures. And so having both of that, we were just able to slowly gravitate towards each other because nobody else went through that situation.
Okay, we'll go right down here on the right.
Kind of sticking to that, Mason. You're the senior on the team. Those young guys went through that big loss last year. For you personally, did you feel a necessary to protect them a little bit just from all the expectations and the letdown during the offseason?
In a roundabout way, yeah. Being the older guy, you want to look out for the younger guys that haven't been through situations, haven't been through this and that. And I think the best way that I could, quote unquote, protect them, because it's not necessarily physical, it's more mental, like protecting your mental energy, protecting your just kind of aura, it's just to understand who you are. A loss doesn't define you. One simple day, one action, one game doesn't define you. It's a series of things that happen that define you. And so if you guys stay on top of those, if you work and you get better and you prove it next year, talking kind of right after the loss, we can bounce back from it. It wasn't our last game. It wasn't the end of our careers. It was something that we had to go through to be able to get here. You had to go through adversity to be able to see the sun at the end. And that was my message to them. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks for me. It sucks for everybody. It sucks for Coach Payne. But the quicker we were able to sit in it, learn from it, and grow from it, the better we were going to be from it.
We're going to go over on the left aisle.
It's the definition of trust the process. You know, whenever I was a redshirt freshman, we didn't have the conversations of we're going to the Final Four, we're going to the national championships. Yeah, we talked about it. It'd be cool to get there, but it was more so at that time we were focused on winning the Big Ten championship because we weren't having the success that we wanted to. And not that we were far from it. My redshirt sophomore year, we lost to Rutgers on a buzzer beater. We lost to Wisconsin on a buzzer beater. Somebody else to a buzzer beater, I think, and I think we had another loss. So like you take away 2 or 3 of those losses, we win the Big Ten, and they're all by buzzer beaters. And so eventually we would be back to back to back. And you could say that about many games. Many teams could say that about many games. But I think that being able to go through everything I've been through, positive and negative, only helps me help the younger people. If I didn't go through so many different experiences, I wouldn't be able to have the words to tell Cam or Miles that we do it this way, not this way. Or yes, you did this right, but try and look at it this way so you can understand in the future that when this happens, you know what I mean? And so like, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not telling them nothing I've never been told. It's not new stuff. It's just something that whenever I was young, I was poured into, I was taught, I was told things, and now it's my turn to do the same. I want to lead the program better than when I found it, and I think that the group that I've came in with, the group right behind me, I think we've done a really good job at that. So